The Hawaii Police Department believes every victim deserves justice, and that the deceased victim's family, friends, and community deserve closure. There is no statute of limitations on murder. Leilani Kim was a 44-year-old mother of 3 who had just begun working at the Kona Hilton Hotel, now the Royal Kona Resort, in Kailua Kona, Hawaii. She had recently divorced her husband, John Sain Kim, and moved to Kona from Hilo only a few weeks prior. She was in training to be the assistant front desk manager for the hotel. On July 31, 1978, at around 11 p.m., she left for the day after completing her shift. This was the last time anyone saw her alive. The next day, her body was found in her hotel room bathtub at the Kona Hilton. Kim was known as an outgoing person, hardworking, and a successful businesswoman who had owned a jewelry store in Hilo Mall. Originally from Seattle, Washington, Gayle Hook came to Hawaii with a friend staying mostly in the Kealakekua area near the beach. She didn't have a car but was known to hitchhike around the island. On March 29, 1973, after living on the island for 9 months, she left her house to go to the beach. Because she had talked about going to Waipio Valley, which was nearly 2 hours away to the north from where she lived, her roommates did not report her missing right away. On April 6th, some high school kids checking out the area near the Kahikalu Trinity Church in an area 15 minutes south from her home discovered the partially decomposed body of a woman in the back room of a pavilion on the abandoned church's property. The woman was later identified as 21-year-old Gayle Hook. She had died of a gunshot wound through her left eye and had been dead for about a week. She had been badly beaten and sexually assaulted prior to being shot. A few people have been identified as persons of interest, but no true suspects have developed or been identified. It is Hawaii's oldest cold case. She was described as a free spirit and happy person who was very social. She was known for being nice to everyone and loving the beach. Kallen Agliam was a 19-year-old local boy last seen at 4:30 p.m. on January 31, 2001. He was being followed by 1 or 2 men in an older gray Toyota pickup truck as he drove his gold Jeep Cherokee in the Pepe'ekeo area. He was supposed to be meeting up with 2 people that day, one nearby and another in Hakalau between 4 and 5 p.m. However, that same day at 5:17 p.m., a passerby discovered his body on the side of the road off of the old Hilo Coast Processing Plant Road in the same area. He had been shot a single time in the chest near his car. The area is mostly made up of farmland with little population, and the roads he was found near were barely used. Police believe the motive may have been related to drug trafficking, but this is only a theory. Sean Burgado was employed at a nursing home as a dietary aide in Hilo. On May 19, 1997, he finished his shift and left for the evening to his home in Upper Hilo. After a few days had passed and he had not returned to work, his boss called a neighbor asking for them to check in on him. On May 21st at 5:25 p.m., the neighbor found Burgado dead on the floor, shot to death. Though no concrete witnesses or suspects were found, in 2019, forensic artists made a drawing of a man who may have been in the area at the time and was described as being with 2 unidentified males. Bradley Bussewitz, also known as Bradley Adair, was originally from Wisconsin and lived on the Hawaii island between 1988 and 1989. He had lived in San Luis Obispo, California in 1996, but returned sometime in 2003 and lived at various locations around Hawaii Island, including Puna, South Hilo, Kau, North Kohola, and Kona. On November 2, 2003, a little after 9 a.m., a hunter who was searching for his dog discovered the decomposed body of a man in a remote area off of Saddle Road near the 12-mile marker in South Hilo. An autopsy of the body determined that the man died as a result of severe blunt force injuries. No identification was found, and though fingerprints were obtained, there were no matches. In April 2016, the man's fingerprints were sent to the Hawaii Criminal Justice Data Center in Honolulu and searched in the FBI's Next Generation Identification System. The fingerprints positively identified the body as Bradley Bussewitz. He was described as a nomad and liked to grow his own food, was a vegetarian, and also played the didgeridoo. His dream was to own a piece of land in Hawaii and live off the land, being self-sufficient. On May 1, 1987, at 9:15 p.m., 26-year-old Lynn Ebisuzaki walked out of her boyfriend's home in the 500 block of Kanalahua Avenue near the airport in Hilo. When people realized she had not returned, they searched the areas surrounding the home, but could not find her and called the police. Upon a continued search of the area, officers found her body in the bushes a few hundred feet away from the residence. She had been stabbed to death. In 2024, forensic artists made a sketch of an unknown man that witnesses say was arguing with Ebisuzaki hours prior to her death. She was described only positively by everyone who knew her and was also active in the Baptist church as a youth pastor. On August 12, 1996, around 3:45 p.m., 18-year-old Glenn Guerrero was seen in the passenger seat of a pickup truck as it drove away from the Shipman Ballpark, now known as the Buddy Perry Soccer Fields in Kiau. His body was discovered a few hours later on a dirt road above the ballpark. He had been shot to death. The driver of the pickup truck has never been identified. On June 1, 1999, at 2:47 p.m., police responded to Waipio Valley after beachgoers reported that their dog had dug up a body buried in the sand. The body was badly decomposed and was transported to the local morgue. Fingerprints identified the body to be Matthew Peck. He had died by being violently strangled to death. His body was found near a makeshift shack where he lived. He was described as a nomad who often hitchhiked in the areas of Puna and Hilo. If you have any information about these cases, the Hawaii Police Department urges you to contact them. You can submit a tip at Unsolved Homicides at hawaiicounty.gov or call their Unsolved Homicides Division at 808-961-2380 or Crime Stoppers at 808-961-8300.